Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading, and today's reading is for my Aries people, and you could be Aries sun, moon, or rising, or you could just want to listen to this video. That's completely fine too. I'm going to do a tarot forecast for you, Aries, for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And I'll also have an extended reading, which will likely be 18 plus, and going into more detail regarding the next 6 to 8 weeks for you as it pertains to your love life, okay? But this reading is going to cover in general for Aries what is coming up. So not just your love life, but all areas of your life, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shuffle here, and I'm going to lay out the Wheel of the Zodiac, and it's going to give me all 12 houses for you and for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to get so just bear with me here for a second while I lay everything out. Spirit, what would you like Aries to know? What would you like Aries to know for the upcoming month? What would you like Aries to know for the upcoming month? Okay, that's it right there. So first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, okay, seventh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so the 4 of Pentacles is on the bottom of the deck. So last month, coming from an energy of keeping your resources close to you, keeping your thoughts to you, minding your own business, and maybe feeling a less Aries-like than you normally are. Or some of you could just be working on projects right now. You could just be working on stabilizing your money. You could be working on certain projects that you really want to complete, okay? So this is the energy of where things could have been coming from for you over the last month or so, and just not really wanting to give up much of your position and where you're at right now. And we can see that there was a period with the 2 of Wands here, and this is a Mars and Aries card of really wanting to go after something with the Page of Pentacles here that you thought was going to turn out really good with the Sun, okay? But it feels like you guys were just kind of trying to stabilize everything coming from the last month, okay? So I'm gonna take each house here for you guys. This is the first house. Ooh, the Ace of Swords. I like that. For you, for the second house, we have the 7 of Swords. For the third, we have the Ace of Pentacles. For the fourth, we have the 9 of Swords. Some of you may be worried about a family matter, something going on in your family, or some news that you heard, okay? And your second house is the 7 of Swords here. And after, it's kind of like seeing what you can get away with financially and what would work, okay? After a period of not really any changes happening here with the 4 of Pentacles. Whoa, we have the 5th house, which is the 5 of Swords, okay? So, people behaving in ways where they think it's funny, or they think they're being cute, or they think that they're being funny with you, but they're not, okay? Someone's causing you a lot of stress here. And for some of you too, because the 5th house is children, for some of you it could be children that you're worried about right now, or someone in your family that is not on the same page with you, okay? We have the 10 of Cups in the 6th house. So it looks like your health is going to be doing well. And the 7th house, we have the 6 of Swords, okay? We have the 3 of Wands in the 8th house. Okay, well, I like that for you. That's passionate. We have the 9 of Pentacles in the 9th house. We have the Magician in the 10th house. Wow, it's going to be a good month for you career-wise coming up, okay? We have the 11th house, which is the 8 of Swords, okay? And that has to do with your friends, your wishes and your hopes, okay? We have the 10 of Pentacles in the 12th house. So that's interesting with the whole, money issue and the whole projects, all the projects that you've been working on, or the things that you've been trying to bring into fruition. And I see the upcoming month for you where you're learning some new things about yourself, okay? Because you have the Ace of Swords in the first house here. And you know, what's hidden is the 12th house. So what's hidden is the material production, okay? And or the growth of wealth, or your material production of something, okay? And we're gonna get a little bit more information and see what's going on there. It feels like here too with your love life, you're like, okay, great, I'm not seeing my money, all right? Because the Ten of Pentacles is the Lord of Wealth, and it's the most material of the material, okay? So it's like, maybe I'm not seeing how certain ideas that I could have are going to like manifest, okay? And maybe in the past you weren't really seeing that happen for you, but I think going forward into the future now, you're becoming a lot more aware of what you're working with and what's possible, okay? And when it comes to relationships, some of you may have had like a clean break, or you may be having a clean break where you just can't put up with that noise right now, because in your 7th house, we have the 6 of Swords, which just basically says, is my understanding your understanding? Okay, well, great. There's no, you know, with the 6 of Swords, though, we could be talking about you getting to know someone who you have a lot of stuff in common with mentally. And when we're talking about the 7th house, we're talking about romantic relationships. So some of you could be making some connections with people that you have a lot in common with, or you're able to talk to them very freely. Okay, but I also feel like the energy around your love life is, you know, if there's any drama or anything like that, I'm out of there. And I think it's also smooth sailing. Okay, so for those of you that have something going on right now, either you're smoothly sailing away, or you're smoothly sailing forward, okay? But the love life doesn't look like it's creating much drama, or you're just simply not letting it create a lot of drama for you at this time, okay? And where I really see you guys struggling here is when it comes to your money, and when it comes to your family, okay? So we're gonna dig deeper into that energy, and I'm gonna pull a couple more here for you, and we're gonna look at what's going on, okay? With the 7 of Swords in your 2nd house, it's kind of like, I don't know whether my money is coming or going, but I can tell here that you have, with the 3 of Pentacles in the 3rd house, there's some opportunities to grow, but it all feels very premature. That's the thing. It all feels very premature at this time, all right? And there's a need here with the Ace of Pentacles to ground some of your ideas, I feel, okay? However, I think you're getting noticed when it comes to, like, you know, your career, when it comes to the things that you want to do, when it comes to being excited about work, or being excited about something that you're working on. I do think you are excited. I do think you are like impassioned and going with it, okay? But with the 8 of Swords here, it's this feeling of, I don't really know where it's gonna go financially, okay? Because the 11th house also has to do with the money that we earn from our career, because the 10th house is the career. So this could be a situation of where, like, I'm really jazzed and I'm really excited and I'm feeling really good about it, but at the same time, I'm not sure where any of this is going yet, and I'm not sure what the material rewards of this will actually be, okay? But with your 12th house, with the 10 of Pentacles here, I feel like something is trying to emerge for you when it comes to the financial aspect, okay? I also see you guys getting, with your 8th house, with the 3 of Wands here, getting really turned on by like spiritual concepts, topics, getting to know, like some of you here could have a crush on someone that, like, you know, someone who you work with or someone who's a teacher to you, or you're just looking good, okay? And some of you could have somebody else who has a crush on you as well, who is, you know, for those of you that you work in the spiritual realms, I see you guys getting kind of turned on by somebody noticing you, okay? And you know, the 9th house is really where we're fueling those dreams for our 10th house too. So I feel like with your 9th house strong, you know what you want to do. You have a philosophy behind what you want to do, and you're serious about it, and you actually have the power to make things happen with the Magician, okay? And some of you may have some, with the 8th house and the 3 of Wands, you may have some things that you want to take care of or clear out of your space as well. And also, you know, the 8th house is the house of debt. So some of you may be really trying to eliminate debt, or really trying to take a very active role in that, okay? But it's also with the 3 of Wands, I feel like you guys aren't afraid, because the 8th house can be where we're afraid of something, or where something is bringing us a lot of anxiety, okay? But I feel like you guys are very strong in this month, and you're like, I'm not afraid of, you know, I don't feel like you guys are really afraid of putting yourself out there with the 9 of Pentacles and the Magician. You just want to look good doing it, you know, but I think that's going to be easy for you guys to accomplish, okay? And there may be somebody that has a secret crush on you with this 3 of Wands in the 8th house. However, I think a lot of you are too busy focusing on, you know, what it is that you're trying to accomplish, okay? So I'm going to get some more cards here. The good news is that if you were dealing with any health issues, or if there was anything, the 10 of Cups is in the 6th house. So some of you could be getting some good news about your health, or some of you may be getting good news about, you know, like something like, and if you were trying to find a doctor, or you're trying to find a good therapist, or find a good doctor, or try to find, you know, the medicine that you need, or trying to go on a detox or anything like that, pile, or I was going to call you pile number 1, Aries, I feel like that can happen for you easily. I feel like your health is doing well, and because your health is going to be doing well, or is doing well, I feel like it puts you more in touch with what you want, and you're very, you know, you're dressed for success there with the 9 of Pentacles, okay? And with the 3 of Wands in the 8th house, we see the driving force of your dreams, okay? The driving force of your secret dreams, all right? And at this point, maybe we don't know where things are gonna go though with this 8 of Swords, okay? 8 of Swords is also the house of friends. So it's like, okay, what happened to my friends? Or, you know, I've been so busy, I don't even know what's going on. So some of you may not know what's going on too much with friends or acquaintances or groups of people right now, because you're too busy, or you don't have time, or you just have lost touch, okay? And then, yeah, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna get some more cards out here to clarify each. We're gonna get, Spirit, can you show me with this? Can you show me for each house, please? What does Aries need to know for each house? Okay, so we have there. So we're just going to put one with each here. And I can see that somebody makes a rude comment to you, that in a situation that was supposed to be fun, you know, because the 5th house is where we experience pleasure, and where we can actually, you know, have our mojo and have fun and experience pleasure. It also is the house of our children. So some of you could be, you know, dealing with issues there, okay? Or somebody says something to you that really makes you worry about them, okay? Or you guys could say something to someone that really makes you worry. All right, so let's go ahead and see. For the Ace of Swords, we have abundance. Yes, that is what you guys are working on, ideas for abundance and for your future success, okay? So getting some really good ideas. In fact, you may have almost like too many ideas. You're going to have like an abundance of ideas, right? But with the 10 of Pentacles in your 12th house, you're like, okay, that's just the beginning, right? There's all this energy in your 12th house, but it feels inaccessible, okay? Because the 12th house is a house that in our charts that we can't see. It's behind the ascendant, basically, or it's next to the ascendant, so we can't see it. All right, so that could be, it's like, I want this, but I can't see it, all right? And sometimes, you know, the 12th house is also the house of psychological pain too, and also our self-undoing. So it's like, okay, I have all these ideas, but we don't want it to be to the point where, you know, or where the point where just seeking wealth for the sake of wealth is becoming a reason for your self-undoing, okay? Or it's like if you have money, or you are wealthy, or you do have a decent amount of money, but maybe you're afraid to let go of that position with the Four of Pentacles here. Something in your subconscious about money and wealth and family and traditions that's operating right now. Let's see, we have confidence. All right, well, my beautiful Aries. So you may want to be a little bit careful here with the Seven of Swords and watching out for any unchecked confidence, okay? Because this is when we can kind of slip up. And I think you guys have been doing pretty good, or you have been holding back with the Four of Pentacles here in the past. And that probably wasn't very fun for you because you guys are not known for your, you know, well, and also with the 10 of Pentacles here in the 12th house, like the way you spend money or the way you look at money can also be a cause of your self-undoing, okay? And some of you may have, you know, because the 10 of Pentacles is a great card, but the 12th house is like, you know, out of all the houses is one of the most malefic of all the houses. So, you know, it's like where money is becoming an issue or becoming our self-undoing. Now, or the goals that we want aren't realistic, you know, or that we're getting way too, like we're getting also with this, okay, so you have the Seven of Swords here with the second house. It just says, you know, when it comes to money, I feel like coming up, your tune is changing, all right? Because the second house is the house of money, and you guys may be like, oh yeah, this is great, or I want to do this, or, you know, this effort that you put in before to basically not spend a lot or to keep your resources with you is kind of, I would be a little bit careful with this pile. I was going to call you pile number one. I'd be a little bit careful with this because I think, you know, sometimes things can get left out and things can get left behind. And for some of you here too, this could have to do, you know, the Seven of Swords is a close cousin to the Five of Swords. So for some of you, having confidence in what another person tells you at a time when they're feeling really good, but they maybe aren't being very logical or realistic, may bring some issues, okay? So I would just be a little, because that feels a little bit slippery to me with the confidence and the Seven of Swords. You know, are you gonna be able to pull something off or not, right? I wouldn't get too like daring with the way that you're spending your money. I think if for those of you that have been saving, you've been doing a pretty good job. So, or you were in the past, and maybe your money wasn't growing and things weren't changing at all, but at least you were thinking things through before you act, okay? You were thinking things through before you act, okay? And I think you are. With the Ace of Swords, you do want to think about things before you act, but don't use that as an excuse to just, you know, let yourself go down the tubes when it comes to spending your money, okay? We have fear and the Ace of Pentacles. So, you know, this is interesting with your third house, okay? So, you know, the third house has to do with communications, and, you know, something that you need to, and you know what, the third house is also about our community around us, like our neighborhood, the people around us, and also it can be about our siblings as well too. Somebody could be, you know, communicating with you that they need some money from you or they need some help from you, okay? And you may be a little bit fearful about giving that person something that they need, because it's like, what are they going to do with it, you know? And if I give this to someone, what's going to happen? Okay, so some of you may be a little bit afraid as well to bring something up from a communication standpoint of, hey, I need this, or hey, I can help you with this if you help me with this type of energy with the Ace of Pentacles, okay? And, you know, the fear just reminds me of like the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So it's like, I don't really want to consider anything else except what I already planned, okay? So there could be some fear there with that. And then we have the Nine of Swords here. So, okay, so frustration. So the fourth house has to do with family, okay? And it is the deepest and the darkest part of our chart. And the Nine of Swords represents Mars in Gemini. Mars is in Gemini right now. Mars is going to be retrograding in Gemini, I think, until, well, it hasn't started yet, but I mean, it's going to be leading up to the retrograde from now until January next year. Mars is going to be in Gemini. So this tells me like this is something that's a bit more, you know, and I think here there's something too, like if I keep offering, you know, with this Ace of Pentacles and fear, if I keep offering to help someone, or I keep, you know, putting it out there, like, I just don't think it's going to make a difference. So I feel like some of you may be thinking about that right now. And there is a lot of frustration. You guys may be worried about somebody or frustrated because they refuse to make a decision and it's affecting you, okay? And there could be people in your, and when I say family, this could be, you know, like, because family means something different to everyone, right? This could be like, you know, your own children. It could be your spouse. It could be your spouse's family. It could be your partner's family. It could be your family, right? It could be like your soul tribe family. But what it's saying here is like there is some worry and frustration. And for some of you, you may have expressed a desire to help someone here with the Ace of Pentacles, but then it's like, if I keep giving my energy to this situation, I feel like it doesn't really help. And the third house can be where we become very exhausted with our efforts, right? So if we keep giving or we keep trying and nothing's really changing, that, and also the third house, I feel like with this Ace of Pentacles, there could be some fear around asking for help for those of you that need to ask for someone for help, okay? There may be a little bit of fear around doing that because I feel like you guys are like to rely on yourselves or like to do things yourself. And so there may be some fear around that, okay? But you know, with this Nine of Swords, the feeling here is it doesn't matter, you know, what I say or do, like this situation is just frustrating and there's no way around it. And I feel like some of you guys, you know, for those of you that are parents, you may worry about one of your children a lot. For those of you that have family that just doesn't agree with you and they never will, and there's just always tension there. I feel like the next, you know, however many months that Mars is going to be in Gemini, I would say, okay, so how many months is that going to be? So we're September, October, November, December, January. That's 5 months. Okay, so for the next 5 months, I think this is something to watch out for, that you guys don't mentally exhaust yourself when it comes to like worry, you know, and I know that's easier said than done. But I think it's going to be important for you guys, especially it may be very draining and exhausting if you don't. And I feel some of you here with your 10th house with the Magician, you're going to want to focus on making some things happen in your career over, you know, over the next few months anyway, okay? But try not to let this energy pull you down, and try not to worry and get flustered and frustrated over things that you can't control, okay? And we have the 5 of Swords with Ideation. So, you know, thinking that you're gonna have fun with someone, or thinking that, you know, you're gonna have a good time, or kind of like putting someone on a pedestal, turns out to really, you know, spoil the party, you know what I mean? And I feel like somebody's, I just got that, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. All right, so maybe some of you will be attending a party, or you'll have an invitation to a party. Parties are definitely 5th house activities, okay? And maybe some of you are a little bit indecisive about whether you want to go or whether you want to deal with it, okay? But I mean, it's also this sense of, I feel like this thing could really bring me pleasure, but it's not going to. I'm putting it on a pedestal and looking for it to change, but it's not, okay? So if some of you get an invitation and you've got a bad feeling about it, or you're just not completely sold on it, or you're just like not completely sure if you want to go and you've been indecisive, I would say listen to your gut on that one, okay? And if you're making somebody out to be better than they actually are, just because you don't want to feel hurt, I feel like some of that energy could come to a head here, okay? So just be on the lookout for that too, coming up, all right? Because your 4th and your 5th house really look the most challenging. I mean, even having the 10 of Pentacles in your 12th house isn't exactly the worst thing, because, you know, it's like, well, you know, once you come up with all these great ideas and you're changing things and you're seeing things in a new way, that 10 of Pentacles could easily appear for you, okay? Or could be coming up in the future for you. So to me, that's not that big of a deal. A lot of these things are okay. You have 2 aces here, okay? You have, I'm trying to see where your major, okay, you've got 1 major arcana and it's in your 10th house. So really that is where you want to focus and concentrate. The Magician is about focus and concentration. That's where you want to put in effort. And with the 9 of Pentacles here, you want to get yourself, you know, spiritually aligned for that work and learn the things that you need to know and work hard, okay? With the, okay, I like this. So the 10 of Cups and hunger for your 6th house, all right? So some of you may really want some comfort food, or there may be certain cravings that you're having that make you feel good, okay? But also I just think you guys are hungering to feel better on a day-to-day basis when it comes to your routines, when it comes to, you know, like your schedule. And I think you're just, you know, you're just hungering for that feeling of, you know, like I've got everything organized where I want it. I've got everything in its place, and everyone around me is happy and I'm happy, and I'm eating what I want to eat. I'm doing what I want to do every day, okay? So I feel like for some of you, this has been a long time coming with this hunger of wanting to, you know, wanting to feel that way, like wanting to feel better physically, because the 6th house is also a house of like sickness, okay? But some of you, and with the 10 of Cups here though, I feel like something is getting healed. And also some of you may be beautiful healers with the 10 of Cups in the 6th house, okay? Some of you may really hunger to be of service to others and to help others feel better, okay? And So I think that that is very much a positive point for you guys as well coming up. Now with the 7th house, we have cleanse. Yes, with the 6 of Swords. So no more fighting, no more issues. It's like with the 6 of Swords, we keep everything very, very simple, okay? And, you know, we don't attempt to like try to change an outcome. We're very accepting of things. We're low drama. You know, and I think for some of you, maybe some of you are wanting to get away with your person. If for those of you that are in a couple, it might be time for you two to kind of get away from things, especially if you guys have been dealing with a lot of family issues and kids issues and, you know, all of that. Some of you are just needing to get away with your person, okay, and cleanse the energy. There is something with your romantic partnerships where something either needs to be cleansed or forgotten, okay? Something either needs to be like, you know, I was just gonna say written in the stars in gold or passed on by. You know what I'm saying? It just, something here about this partnership energy is telling me it's okay to move forward if the energy is clean and everybody feels good. It's not okay to move forward if there is a person who's just being quiet and indecisive and not really saying anything about what it is that they want or need, okay? So I am seeing that here. If that's you, if you have a tendency to just kind of go with the flow because you want the energy to be easygoing, and in your partnerships lately, I feel like, you know, don't ignore what it is that you need, okay? But I also just think right now isn't the time for a lot of, you know, gross relationship dynamics, okay? And some of you actually could be moving on from a connection and letting something go and feeling much better because of it. Or you could just have a certain level of acceptance, of quiet acceptance about something, and it just kind of makes you feel better because you know where you are mentally, I feel, when it comes to your partnerships. And some of you may have not felt that way because right before the 6 of Swords, we have the 5 of Swords, right? So, you know, maybe there was disagreements, maybe there was, you know, upsets and things like that. But I feel like going forward, it's got to be cleaner, okay? And oh wow, we have the 8th house and we have the 3 of Wands and energy. Yeah, okay. So the 8th house is where we is like a very taboo area of our chart. It's a very mysterious place in our chart, okay? But it's also a house of anxiety. However, like I said, I feel like you guys are having the strength, the balls, and the determination to handle what needs to be handled. And if something needs to be handled that you've been avoiding or putting off or just not wanting to look at, I feel like it's coming, okay? And also, for those of you too that have partners, the 8th house is the house of your partner's money. So for some of you, your partner's money could actually be increasing and growing, and somebody gets a bonus, a raise, a promotion. So, you know, but for those of you that don't have a partner, I also just feel like instead of running away from the things that you're scared of or the things that you've been fearful of in the past, you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it, you know? And I see from your 8th house on, you're starting to get some real steam, you know, you're starting to pick up steam, okay? And also, I would say the 3 of Wands, the 8th house is also very sexual, you know? And so, I mean, I think if there's anything you want to try, or there's anything that's very taboo, or there's anything that you're interested in, I'm sure you can find a willing party to to experiment with you, okay? Your 8th house is gaining energy. And like I said, for those of you that do have debt or things that you owe other people, I feel like whether it's money debt or just things that time, effort, energy that you owe other people, I think you're rectifying that balance coming up here, and you know, and it's looking strong, okay? So your 8th house is looking strong and you're looking very determined there. And I think for some of you, it's because you've let go of whatever relationship drama, like it frees you to kind of like focus on things, or you've let go of, you know, in some of these situations with your family, or, you know, people that you're trying to, like, you know, children, family, etc. And you keep thinking this situation is going to get better with this ideation, but it's not. And for some of you, you've been giving Ace of Pentacles and trying to make it work, but your mind is telling you like it's not going to work with this fear card, okay? I feel like, you know, what with the 6th house here, the 10 of Cups, which you guys really hunger for, is a sense of peace and a sense of, I don't have to be worried about everything else and what everyone else is doing. I just have to take care of myself, okay? And I think that's gonna help lighten the load for you. And if you are with this 3rd house and the Ace of Pentacles overextending yourself, giving too much physically, socially, physically, or you just keep putting money into something, but it's very vague and you're not sure and it's, you know, and you don't know if it's going to work. Okay. Like I think this is an area to kind of watch out for too, especially if you guys are giving and over giving. If you're afraid to ask for help with something, then I feel like that's something you can get over. Okay. And I see that with your 8th house, where it's like, okay, I can finally tackle the things that I've been afraid of or the things I've been fearful of. Okay, your 9th house. Oh my God, you got anger going on in your 9th house. I was just going to call you pile number 1. Aries, very interesting. Okay, so you're starting to see where people have underestimated you, okay? You're a very smart cookie. You dress well. You look good. You work hard. And, you know, you're a real treat for this world, okay? Feast your eyes on Aries. And, you know, if people aren't taking you seriously based on your ideas and what you think and what you're working on, that is probably going to really piss you off, okay? And also, I see you guys not really wanting to get interrupted a lot. I see you guys wanting to be taken seriously. With your thoughts and your dreams, okay? Because the 9th house also has to do with our dreams and like what we see for ourselves, okay? So if people are not, you know, supporting that, and if people are not appreciating that, I think you may get a little bit, your 9th house, you might get a little bit mad, okay? And also too, you know, the 9th house and the 3rd house are directly opposite to each other. So I also think this 9th house is saying like, I have to do everything for myself and it's not fair sometimes, especially when it comes to money, or I'm sick of, you know, having to prove myself all the time, okay? Because I think with the 9th house, what you've been doing, and some of you who are like interested in spiritual work, or if you do spiritual work, the 9th house is the house of the magician. And the 9th house in astrology and ancient astrology shows the aptitude of a magician, okay? Or an aptitude of an occultist. And you guys have the 9 of Pentacles there, which is like nailing it perfect. I nailed the landing, okay? And if somebody is, you know, mad because you're doing so good in that area, or mad because you're looking good or whatever, like, I don't even think you guys have time for it. I don't even think you're going to notice it, you know, and because you're going to be too busy doing what you want to do. All right. And then we have the Magician here, and we have surrender. Wow, that's really interesting. So with the Magician and surrender reminds me of the Hangman, right? And the Magician is also where we let the ideas flow, and it has to do with philosophical Mercury, okay? And we see the Ace of Swords here, really empowering that Magician, okay? But I also think, you know, with the Magician and the Ace of Swords here, because the first house and the 10th house square each other, all right? They form like a mundane square to one another. So with the Magician and the Ace of Swords here, I would say, you know, there's a lot of ideas flowing. The problem with the Magician is staying focused and building on what we've already done, okay? And this Magician can do so many things, okay? I just was talking about the ability of the Magician, all right, with the 9th house, and here's the Magician, right? But, you know, there's a lot of skill. There's a lot of different things that you could do and a lot of skill here, but maybe it gets overwhelming. You know, maybe it gets overwhelming and we need to focus and concentrate on one thing and pick a direction. Also, Mercury is going retrograde on September 9th. So if you guys are feeling very stressed, like you have 10,000 different things to do and you don't know what to do first, try not to exhaust yourself, okay? Because with this 4th house, the 4th house is also the deepest part in our chart, and it represents midnight in our chart, right? So if you have Mercury in the 10th of Mercury means that we're very, very active and we're going back and forth and we're doing 100 different things. We're multitasking our heads off, okay? Trying to do everything. And then at night, we're having a hard time sleeping. We're having a hard time chilling out. We're having a hard time calming down because our mind is going 1,000 miles per hour, okay? And so I think that's something for you guys to watch out for. Watch out for like over mental stimulation and burnout, okay? And I just noticed you guys have a 10 in your 6th house and your 12th house, 2 10s, which is very interesting because those 2 houses are in opposition to each other, okay? And the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles are both really, really good. But for you guys, the money may have to take a little bit, like, you know, of a back burner. It may have to be like your health and your well-being that's more front and center here. And I get it, like if you've been doing really well and like limiting yourself and not spending a lot and life has felt very dull and boring and gray, it may suck to have the 10 of Pentacles in your 12th house because you want to have fun. You know what I mean? So just be careful with that energy too, is what I would say. Now, the interesting thing is you have the 8 of Swords in the 11th house of friends, and you have the 5 of Swords in the 5th house. So to me, this is also telling me there are people that you really would like to see or spend your time with, but you know, you may be actually over idealizing what a person can give you in a situation when it has to do like with, you know, it'd almost be better for you guys to just kind of okay, yeah, it's almost better. So we have illumination here. Some of you could have someone like a friend or someone that you previously had a lot of fun with, or you would go out with, or that you would just have good talks with. Okay, something's become very superficial, I feel like here. That's the word Spirit is giving me, okay? And some of you are starting to see where things, you're starting to see like running around like a chicken with my head cut off isn't, when I don't know where things are going, is giving me a stomach ulcer, okay? And like once you realize that, I feel like you can address it, okay? And you know, this whole thing of like, well, I really would love to spend time, or it would be super pleasurable to spend time with these people, but then you actually spend time with them and you realize, holy shit, like that isn't what I thought it was going to be, this illumination. And where did that come from? That came out of left field, okay? So for some of you right now, when it comes to, because the 11th house is our friendships as well. So it could be this sense of like, you know, I don't really like, there's a lot of different things that I could do here, but you know, it's kind of out of my control because I did what I could, you know, I did what I could, but it didn't make a difference, okay? So I think some of you are seeing that as well. Also, when it comes to the money from your career or the money that you're making, I think some of you are starting to realize that going around like a chicken with your head cut off or having 1,000 different ideas without any true focus is what's hampering you, okay? And it can be exhausting you at the same time too. And it's like, I don't know where this is going because I haven't fully, like, you know, I haven't fully, I haven't really decided what I wanted, or I've just been kind of doing things a little bit here and a little bit there without really focusing on something, okay? So that is coming up too. Some of you guys are getting illumination around something that I feel like you're going to be like, oh, that was so easy. I could have seen that so easily, okay? But it's going to be shown to you. We have isolation with the 12th house, okay? So that's so fitting for the 12th house. The 12th house is a house of isolation. Okay, so some of you could feel like no one really understands like your want and needs when it comes to building a family, building wealth, when it comes to financial security. And it may feel like, and the 10 of Pentacles is also like a traditional family. So, you know, with all this 9 of Swords stuff and frustration, some of you may feel like people are not really, like people in your family or people around you are just not really understanding you, and they're not really present for you. And it may feel like, you know, with this 9 of Pentacles here, that you're having to stand on your own and do a lot of this yourself, okay? And, you know, it's like, maybe for some of you too, you have what you need, but you feel alone or you feel unsupported, okay? And, or you feel responsible to like do everything yourself, okay? And it's creating a lot of psychological pressure, okay? And some of you may not really want people to see about what's been going on with your family or with money, or you may not want them to see what's going on with that, and you may not want other people to see what's going on with it either, okay? And so that's interesting energy there, Aries. Now let's go ahead. I'm gonna draw some more cards here for you. I hope you guys like this format of reading. I haven't done it very much yet, so as I work on getting better at it and as I work on doing more readings like this, you know, bear with me, because I'm certainly not new to astrology or using a wheel to do a tarot reading, but I thought it would be interesting to look at all the areas of life. But let's go ahead and see. I want to see this. Okay, I want to see the 4th house and the 5th house because they look troubling. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Spirit, what message do you have here for the 9 of Swords and the 5 of Swords? Okay. So we have here, I am open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. Okay. So I am open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. And some of you may be getting really frustrated, because other people they're not seeing what you're going through. And I feel some of you keeping it kind of hidden, okay? But we have abundance here leading your reading, and you want to be sharp, you want to be open, you want to be responsive to the abundance of the universe, but you may have some things that are stressing you out and frustrating you. And so it's important to get a handle on those things, okay? And I think then your mind is going to clear and it's going to be a lot easier for you. We have a lot of swords coming up for you guys. We have majority cards here are actually swords, okay? So, and then we have the Magician, which is the mind. So there's a lot going on there. I am magnetic to what I want and I repel what I don't want, okay? So with this 5 of Swords, you know, the figure in the Five of Swords is repelling what he or she doesn't want, you know, and sometimes we have to be the one that goes on the aggressive and stops idealizing situations that don't have a lot to offer us, okay? So I am magnetic to what I want, and I repel what I don't want, and I release what I don't want, all right? And let's see, what else do I want to get for you guys? Okay, I'm going to get, you know what? Okay, I'm going to draw a card here for your 12th house with that 10 of Pentacles in isolation, okay? With that 10 of Pentacles in isolation. Spirit, can you give us a message for the 12th house with the 10 of Pentacles in isolation? Okay, I am practical. You are open-minded and always up to try something new, yet you are wise enough to stop and think. Yeah, with the 7 of Swords, we're not in the money house, where we're not really stopping to think about how our decisions affect other things. And sometimes we think we're making a good decision, but we're making it in isolation, basically without considering other things, okay? Yet wise enough to stop and think before you jump into things. This pragmatic approach helps ensure that your time, attention, and efforts are meaningful. Yeah, and we talked about that with, you know, just like so many ideas and doing different things and keeping in mind your goals and what you actually want and taking a pragmatic approach, okay? And, you know, being wise enough before you just kind of jump into something, whether it's a financial commitment or a family commitment, because what's in our 12th house can actually be the cause of our self-undoing. So we don't want to overcommit ourselves, because we might be stuck in isolation then doing it on our own, and that could make you guys very mad, okay, if that happens. So we'll try to stay away from that energy. And can I get a card here for the Magician in the 10th house of career, please? Can I get, okay, ooh, here it is. I am tactful. You have a desire to succeed and a will to feel most accomplished when your work benefits others. Yeah, that's the 9 of Pentacles, feeling like, you know, my work doesn't matter, or my work isn't helping anyone, or my work isn't benefiting anyone, or it's not benefiting me the way I want to. That's why we have anger there. Okay, you have a desire to succeed and will feel most accomplished when your work benefits others. Your intuitive awareness, yeah, the Magician, your intuitive awareness of what people want allows you to come up with innovative solutions to meet their needs, okay? I am tactful. So I'm not all over the place doing 100 different things that stress me out. My intuitive awareness of what I'm doing, like the Magician is definitely in the flow and handling a lot of energy, okay? And so I see you guys coming up with some innovative solutions, okay? It says, I am tactful. So also with the Magician there, being ruled by Mercury, there could be a tendency to say too much or to like overdo it as far as what we're saying to other people. So I would just be, you know, just focus. That's the word for the Magician, is focus, okay? And then let's see, what other one do I want to get for you guys? I would like to, okay. Let's go ahead and see. Spirit, can you show me an overall astrology energy here for for Aries? Can you show me what Aries is focusing, what area they're focusing on? Yeah, money. That's why this whole reading was about money, isn't it? And we have Mars and Force on the bottom of the deck. So you're a force to be reckoned with, and nobody's going to see it coming when you switch the script, okay? And I mean, I think you guys with the 7 of Swords in the 2nd house, I think you guys do have the ability to handle things like, you know, on the down low. I do think you have the ability to, like, you know, come up with some very innovative plans when it comes to your money. Okay, but I also wouldn't push it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, come up with, I'm all for the Seven of Swords. Sometimes in life, you have to come up with those, very, wild out there plans and execute on them and not worry about what everyone else thinks and just go for it, especially, for those of you that are entrepreneurs, you certainly have to get some comfort with the Seven of Swords, you know what I mean, in order to have your money back and forth like that, okay? But I also, that being said, I think you guys could pull off something very interesting when it comes to money, okay? But I would just be careful of overcommitting, or I would be careful of like letting the Lord of Wealth, right? The Lord of Wealth is the 10 of Pentacles. I would be careful of letting that become your self-undoing, or I would be careful of overdoing it, getting too confident, all right? And try to keep yourself in line, all right? I know it's easier said than done, but I do think, you guys need to have a little fun. All right. And the 8th house with all this energy in it gathering for you tells me that you've got some like repressed energy, even repressed sexual energy that you need to expend. Okay. But the focus for you guys coming up for the next 6 to 8 weeks is money, the 2nd house, and owning. Okay. Also just owning your actions and owning your responsibilities and your actions and owning your decisions when it comes to money, and like thinking about with the 2 Pentacles here, like thinking about how you're spending your money, and thinking with the 3 Pentacles, that reminds me of the 3 of Pentacles in the tarot, like thinking about your work and like really owning that journey. Or some of you may want to like own a home. Some of you may want to make a big purchase with the 2nd house, okay? I would just get all the facts, all right? With the 7 of Swords, I would just get all the facts, okay? And get your money house in order, okay? I'm having, like solar return-wise, Aries, I'm having a 2nd house year myself. The focus for me this year is entirely on money as a result of my solar return, so I know how it is. It's not that fun. But, I went through all my, I went through all my bills basically. And if there were things that I was overpaying on that I had meant to change for a long while, but I just hadn't, I went ahead and made those changes or canceled that service I was randomly paying for. Okay. So I do think it's time for you guys to get your money house in order. Okay. And, some of you may be, like I said, you may be taking a risk there with the 7 of Swords. Some situations call for us to be confident and believe in ourselves, okay? But we don't want to overdo it, is exactly what I'm saying to you guys, okay? So I want to draw a card here for spiritual. Then I'm going to draw a card for love. And then I'm going to draw an overall energy to close the reading. And Aries, if you want to join me on the extended reading, we're going to go ahead and talk about your relationship stuff, and we'll get probably into some 18 plus extended readings. We'll go deeper into that because we have all this 8th house energy here, but let's go ahead, and you'll find the link to my Vimeo channel below. So let's go ahead here and see for my Aries. Let's see. Spirit, can you show me a spiritual message here that Aries needs to hear? Can you show me whoop, there it goes. Oh boy, there it is. It flew right out of my hand. It's the fire dragon, okay? And it's the dragon's strength. And you know what? This reminds me of your 8th house energy, okay? And your ability to face down the things that you've been avoiding. And to during the day when you're awake, some of you may need to work out or do something physical to get some of this energy out, okay? Physically, the fire dragon, all right, during the day. But at night, I think you guys need to calm yourself because you might be overdoing it and then at night having a hard time unwinding from all of that, okay? So the fire dragon is here. I feel like also to protect you, because you guys have this 5 of Swords energy, which can be a real pain in the ass, okay? So if somebody says or does something to you and you figure out, hey, this person isn't what I thought they were, or this friendship here with this 8 of Swords isn't what I thought it was, okay? Then I feel like the fire dragon is here to help you confront things, okay? And to help you get really serious and focused as well. So really focus on that fire energy, okay? And for if you guys have been feeling like you've just been working and working and working to no recognition, okay? I feel like, you know, some of you may breathe your fire on other people, okay? But we want to have controlled fire, the dragon's strength. The dragon doesn't go around wasting all of its energy. It, you know, knows when to deploy it, okay? But for those of you that resonate with dragon energy, or you feel close to that, just know over the next 6 to 8 weeks, the fire dragon is with you, okay? Helping you tackle the things that maybe you were avoiding in the past, okay? So I'm gonna pull a love card for you here, Aries. And then tomorrow I'll do, well, maybe not tomorrow, I think Thursday. Thursday I'll do Taurus, okay? But let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna keep going through the signs so everybody will get their turn. But let's go ahead and see here for Aries. Can you give me a card here for Aries regarding love? All right, I'm just gonna pull one out because these have covers on the front of them. And the spirit wants this one for you. Oh, I like that. Look at you. So serious with your beautiful blue eyes, staring out at the world, okay? And it's like saying, I believe in myself, right? I believe in myself. But let's see what your love message is. Only time will tell, okay? And I think that that's, you know, when it comes to love, spirit is telling you only time will tell on a particular issue. And we can see all the butterflies around her. And it feels to me like you've accepted that, Aries, like that only time will tell when it comes to your love life or when it comes to a certain situation. And I can see that with the 6 of Swords here and this cleansing energy. I think it actually frees you to pursue other things with more gusto, all right? But, yeah, only time will tell, okay? Because there are changes that are like happening right now as we speak in this moment. You know, I feel like, you know, love isn't dead for you. It's not, the story isn't over yet, but certain things have to change if they're going to move forward. And if they don't change, then there's going to be a cleansing of the energy is what I feel. Okay, so spirit is telling you only time will tell. And maybe some of you are wondering about a situation and if it's gonna get better. I think your attitude towards it is gonna get better with the 6 of Swords and this cleanse energy. I think it has to, because there's some other areas that you're needing to focus on, okay? So if you wanna join me on the extended reading, we're gonna get more into your love energy and find out what's going on. We'll probably get some 18 plus messages as well. So I have a link below. Now I'm going to draw a card here for you, Aries, and then I'll close the reading and I'm gonna say, what is the number one thing that my Aries people should be focusing on for the next 6 to 8 weeks? What is the number one thing you would like to draw their attention to, please? Okay, that's it right there. Happiness is on the bottom of the deck, all right? So again, that 6th house looks like where you might actually be feeling better, and maybe some of you haven't had an appetite and you'd like to have one again, but that's good, okay? We all need an appetite for happiness. So let's see, what is it? Oh, prosperity. Absolutely. That is the number. Like, don't forget about your happiness. I would say here, don't pursue something to the extent here with the 10 of Pentacles that it completely undoes you and makes you feel alone, where you can't talk to someone about it, okay, or when you're wasting your efforts and your energies. But the number one thing Spirit actually wants you guys focused on right now is your prosperity. All right, you can see all the gold coins falling around her. You guys also got this abundance card. Your mind is opening up to new ideas that are very practical. You're becoming, you know, just more directed about how you spend your time and innovative solutions around that, okay? And I would say, like I said, avoid if you have a bad feeling in your gut about a certain group of people or an invitation to something, with this Five of Swords, they may be really nice to you with this ideation. They may be acting really nice to you, but I think the situation is going to be more trouble than it's worth, okay? So more than anything, Aries, you focus on your prosperity right now, okay? And we also see that with the second house with money, okay? And if some of you are owing someone money, I also feel like I said, with this 8th house being the house of debt, I feel like you guys are taking that on and eliminating it. Some of you may be eliminating debt and freeing up more time and energy to pursue, you know, building up your prosperity, okay? But that's the number one thing, and the energy to do that. So make sure you guys are getting sleep and not trying to control situations you can't control when it comes to family. I know easier said than done, but like, you know, get that dragon's fire going on there and get moving on that prosperity. Okay, Aries, so that is what I'm getting for you, my loves. And for those of you that would like to join me on the extended reading, there'll be a link to my Vimeo channel below. Thank you so much, my dears, and take care.